Raise your hand if you've ever taken an aspirin to treat a headache. What if I told you that for people living with schizophrenia, a cigarette is like their aspirin? Schizophrenia isn't just hallucinations and delusions. It also involves debilitating negative symptoms like a lack of motivation and an inability to feel pleasure. And it's all linked to a hypersensitive dopamine system. Patients often find that using nicotine, they can alleviate those negative symptoms temporarily by modulating dopamine signaling. But as tolerance builds, that relief fades, causing them to seek other substances like alcohol to compensate. Unfortunately, this cycle of self-medicating can lead to a lifelong vulnerability to substance use disorders. 75% of people living with schizophrenia use nicotine, and 32% have an alcohol use disorder, rates that more than triple the general population. And this is where current treatments fail. Standard antipsychotics work like a sledgehammer. They broadly block all dopamine signaling, which can alleviate the psychosis, but can have severe and permanent side effects. And the treatment for the addiction, well, it rarely works, and it can actually worsen psychiatric stability. So patients are trapped with no single, safe, and effective treatment that targets the root of both schizophrenia and substance use disorders, which is why my research is asking how we can break this cycle. And to do this, we're using a novel rodent model that replicates that dopamine sensitivity that we see in patients. We're using a new compound called CDPPB that does not block dopamine signaling but modulates it. And we're using a new technology that is allowing us to do live brain imaging to see that dopamine signaling and how that reward pathway is changing. And using these three, we have successfully established that CDPPB can alleviate schizophrenia symptoms, reduce nicotine seeking, and reduce alcohol drinking as well. And so the goal was to develop the first therapeutic strategy that targets that root of both schizophrenia and substance use disorders. There are nearly 32 million people living with schizophrenia, and we want to offer them a future in which they are no longer trapped by their medication and its side effects, but freed by it. A future that for the first time, thanks to fiber photometry and CDPPB, is within our reach. Thank you.